Welcome back to Golf Xtra. The 1999 U.S. Open was a unique tournament in the history of golf. It serves as a bit of a pivot point between the stars of the 1990s and the future stars of the 2000s, who were all in contention throughout the tournament. It also serves as a stellar example of what makes the U.S. Open a special tournament: difficult scoring conditions on some of the country's most difficult courses. However, the story of the 1999 U.S. Open goes even deeper than that. Stay tuned right here on Golf Xtra as we give you all of the details. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into the untold story of the 1999 U.S. Open. The 1999 U.S. Open was the first to be played at Pinehurst No. 2, the famous North Carolinian course. It featured players from two different generations of golf's modern-day game, players like Payne Stewart and Lee Janzen from the recent history of the 1990s, and players like Phil Mickelson, David Duval, and Tiger Woods from what would become the future of the sport. At the time, Woods had a dominant performance at the 1997 Masters to his name, but doubters were beginning to pile up. Duval had taken the spot as the world number one following an incredible season of golf, while Mickelson was languishing in the unenviable position of best golfer to never win a major. Janzen was the reigning U.S. Open champion, and Stewart the previous year's runner-up. All of them hoped to etch their names in history at Pinehurst No. 2. On the tournament's first day, rain covered the course, making the normally rapid Pinehurst greens a little bit more hospitable. The scoring was good as a result, with both Mickelson and Duval shooting scores of 67 to take the lead, while Woods and Stewart shot scores of 68 to stay just one shot back. Janzen quickly faded. In round two, conditions remained good and the scores remained close. Duval and Mickelson shot even par rounds to stay at 3 under par, while Stewart picked up a stroke to take a share of the lead. Woods dropped a stroke but remained in striking distance, only 2 back. Already hanging around with the young players, observers knew that Stewart was in for the long haul, as Stuart Appleby, his playing partner for the opening rounds, commented, "Payne loved to pick a fight with a golf course, and the U.S. Open is the biggest, baddest course there is." You could see his game was sharp and he was in a very competitive mood. Stewart continued to set the pace on day 3 of the tournament, opening up a one-stroke lead despite difficult conditions and a score of 72. The rain was gone and sunlight firmed up the infamously difficult course, causing nearly every golfer on the course to shoot over par, including Stewart. Mickelson dropped 3 strokes back down to even par but remained in second place. Woods stayed within 2 shots of the lead, though Duval began to drop back with a round of 75. It appeared to be Stewart's tournament to win given how well he was playing, but memories of the previous year's U.S. Open still reverberated in the back of his head. In the 1998 U.S. Open held at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, Stewart had played well, leading throughout the first 3 days of the tournament. Going into the final round, Stewart was leading by 4 strokes and was the only golfer under par. However, he gave up the lead to Lee Janzen, who got several key bounces as well as a clutch chip-in to overtake Stewart and win only by 1 stroke. For his part, Stewart played below the standards of the previous few days, shooting a final round 74. Following the round, Stewart said, "I didn't play well enough. I didn't do what it took to win. But that's only half of it. The other half is that an outstanding player beat me. Give him the credit." Despite his magnanimous turns of phrase, there's little doubt that Stewart was crushed by the disappointment of that final round at the Olympic Club. Donning his distinctively flamboyant wardrobe, which threw it back to the old days of golf, Stewart set out on the final pairing alongside Mickelson, ready to redeem himself for his shortcomings at Olympic. By this time, it seemed to be largely a 2-man race, with most of the other golfers having fallen out of contention. Mickelson and Stewart were going at it, and it seemed destined to be an all-time classic finish. Throughout the entire round, the lead oscillated between the 2 players. Stewart bogeyed the 12th, while Mickelson's par gave him a 1-stroke lead. Not to be outdone, Stewart hit a tricky 15-footer on 13 to tie it right back up. The 2 were in a dogfight, but there was another golfer coming in from down on the leaderboard. Woods, who had been as much as 3 strokes back during the round, made long birdie putts on both the 14th and 16th holes to get back within 1 stroke of the lead and put the pressure on Stewart and Mickelson, still a hole behind him. The pressure might have gotten to Stewart, who bogeyed the 15th, falling back into the same position with Woods. Mickelson, now in control, seemed ready to finish the job. Tiger, faced with a 5-foot putt to save par on the 17th, missed. All of a sudden, he was only 2 strokes back with only 1 hole left to play and likely out of contention. Meanwhile, Stewart had a 30-footer left just to save par on 16. Mickelson looked to be in even better shape now, except that Payne wasn't done yet. He drained the crucial putt to stay 1 stroke back. Mickelson, maybe shaken by the Stewart par save, missed his own par putt. Now, the two were tied with 2 holes to play. On 17, both Mickelson and Stewart hit excellent approach shots, but Mickelson again just missed on a short putt. Stewart drained his birdie, and suddenly the script had flipped, and Stewart looked to be in control with only 1 hole left to play. On the par 4 18th hole, Stewart started off with a poor drive, but rallied to get on the green in 3 shots. Mickelson then found himself with a 30-foot putt for birdie and an almost certain playoff or outright win, but missed it just slightly. Now it was all up to Stewart, who had an 18-foot putt for an outright U.S. Open win and redemption. As you can probably guess, he drained it in one of golf's greatest clutch putts. The outpouring of emotion that followed signified just how hard-fought and meaningful this tournament was to all of the players, but especially to Stewart himself. Speaking about his incredible putt and tournament afterwards, Stewart said, "I can't describe it. Everything just bubbles up inside of you and all of a sudden it's over. You did it. I did it again. I said to myself, you've always wanted a putt to win the U.S. Open, and you got it right now." Lo and behold, it went in. He also reflected on what he had learned and how it had improved his game. "I learned a lot last year. I learned to deal. I didn't figure to be the gallery's champion, everybody cheering for Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods or David Duval. I knew that would be the scenario. I just had to go out and be Payne Stewart, and it was good enough. I dealt with everything today, and that's why I'm so proud of myself." Mickelson, gutted by the near miss, would have to wait a little bit longer to claim his first major tournament victory. After the round, he said, "I felt like I was close. I felt like I played well enough to win the U.S. Open, but Payne Stewart played better. I felt like all day long, if I could just stay around par just to keep it in play, I felt like I would have an opportunity to win." There was some comfort in that Mickelson's first daughter was born only the day after the final round of the tournament, so maybe he got the biggest win after all. The win cemented Stewart's legacy and showed that he could still compete with the young stars of the sport. Unfortunately, it was also his last victory on tour. Stewart would pass away in a private plane crash only 4 months after his triumphant U.S. Open victory. His passing led to an outpouring of support from the golf community, with tributes to the lost great coming at the next year's U.S. Open and throughout the years to come. However, golf fans can take solace in the fact that Stewart's last great moment on the golf course was a legendary win in an all-time great tournament. As Stewart's friend and former professional Peter Jacobsen would later put it, "To lose Payne so soon after Pinehurst, it gave that tournament a kind of mythical quality. I don't think there's any question it's the greatest U.S. Open of all time. All the elements came together: an iconic venue, 2 generations of stars battling on Sunday, a historic putt on the last hole. That alone would make it a classic. But Payne's death guaranteed that what happened there would live on forever." So, what do you think about the story of the 1999 U.S. Open? Do you think that Payne Stewart would have won any more major tournaments if he hadn't been in this accident? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.